Amanda Cristovich joins us, front office sports. She's got the answers.
Yep.
Don't you, Amanda? Welcome. So, are we going to have YouTube TV and Fox and everything? Everything's going to be fine by GameDay, right?
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
Oh.
At least if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, the statement that Fox put out last night was scathing, to say the least. They accused YouTube TV of, taking advantage of their sort of, power and monopoly in the marketplace and not having any sort of serious discussion. So at this point, if I'm a YouTube TV subscriber and I want to watch Texas, Ohio State, my plan is to get up early and get a seat at the bar.
Well, that's a great plan. Actually.
Meanwhile, Chad, if you want to see Auburn and Baylor, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
Yeah, as a Fox employee, I've got the free subscription to Fox One, so I can watch Auburn and Baylor on there. That's kind of a humble brag on my part, but I will be seeing that even as a YouTube TV subscriber, which is amazing for me. Not so much for the college football fan out there. Amanda, when you cover these stories in sports business and coverage of leagues that get into these disputes with providers, is it the ultimate loser just the consumer of the sport or that product? Like, we understand why these things happen with one gigantic company wanting more money out of another gigantic company. That part of it to me is kind of boring. But what the actual effect is to the fan when these things happen, and let's say we miss one weekend, but that one weekend is Texas, Ohio State. Just how much that means to the fan. I know it's hard to quantify that, but how would you go about doing that?
I mean, I think the consumer is definitely the biggest loser in all of these scenarios. I mean, I'm from Los Angeles, so when I was a kid, there was a whole issue with being able to watch the Dodgers in LA. There was like a whole season where you couldn't watch the Dodgers because of one of these carrier disputes. And I think ultimately, YouTube TV said, "Hey, we'll refund you $10 of your annual subscription if we can't get this carrier dispute settled." But ultimately, kind of like with newspapers, a lot of people are watching live TV because of live sports specifically. So I'm not sure that a $10 credit is going to be enough to, keep you from the modern comforts of your couch and being able to watch, whatever games are on Fox every Saturday. And it's not just college football, right? It's NFL coming up. It's Major League Baseball. So the consumer definitely always loses. And I think that, I'm not in this situation because I have a Roku TV and I use my parents' their TV subscription. Highly recommend that. It's very reliable, much more reliable than YouTube TV. But if you are in that situation, a $10 credit, not going to be enough for me, that's for sure.
No. The $10 credit was comparing
it's
coffee
laughable.
prices. Yeah. Hey, so ultimately the deadline is kickoff, at least for us. That's how we view this. So what brings the two sides together if Fox is releasing a scathing statement against YouTube TV?
I think ultimately it's a cost-benefit analysis for both parties, right? About the reputational damage. I think YouTube TV has more to lose here in this particular scenario because you're just going to lose subscribers, right? There were folks, look, not everything said on the internet is true, but there were folks on the internet talking last night, hey, I'll just cancel my YouTube TV subscription because this is what I have it for, having access to live sports. Whereas Fox, you can get mad at Fox. You can, say that Fox has the money and is trying to, play hardball with this negotiations at the expense of the consumer. But ultimately, you're not gonna penalize Fox. You're gonna penalize YouTube TV by getting rid of your subscription. So I think YouTube TV has to decide whether or not they're gonna give in and make sure that their consumers get what they're paying for.
Hutton, what's so funny about all this is I actually went back and looked at my bill, and I went from DirecTV to YouTube TV right before Labor Day weekend 2023. And that's when the dispute happened with ESPN and Disney. And no, it was the college football weekend because I had college football games that weekend, but because I was going to miss out on that first week in college football, I said, screw it. I didn't like the product at that time either way, and I went to YouTube TV. And now I'm back in a situation where a lot of college football could be taken away from me on YouTube TV 2 years later. It's funny how that works in a cyclical fashion. Amanda, I do want to ask you about the whole Dave Portnoy, and is he or is he not banned from being inside of Ohio Stadium on Saturday? I read a lot of these statements that are being put out there by Ross Bjork and others, and I'm thinking it sounds like semantics for a situation where it's clear Ohio State does not want him in that stadium and does not want him there. But then I'm reading these reports about, well, he's not going to be on the desk all season, and that shocks me if that's the case. What do you make of this whole story?
Well, look, my colleague Ryan Glass-Steagall, he's an excellent reporter. His reporting is correct. Dave Portnoy just posted a video saying that he was in fact banned. That was his understanding, that he had Barstool content planned and had to cancel it. I'm in the process of reaching out to every Big Ten school to see what their plans, if any, are when Big Noon visits them. There are a lot of schools in the Big Ten, so I haven't gotten through I think I've got 16 of 18 at this point, waiting for everyone to get back to me. But ultimately, I think it is true that Dave Portnoy is not going to be in the stadium. And look, regardless of Fox's plans, the plans could be different school by school. So for a blanket statement to just say that Fox isn't going to have him on in the stadium for any Big Noon, he may not be doing a halftime show or something, but depending on the school, they may want him doing other things. So I think it's kind of ridiculous to say that Fox has unilaterally decided to not let him into any stadium. I think that's a bit ridiculous. And like I said, Dave Portnoy came out and said that he has been banned. So, if you want to not believe him, I guess that's your prerogative, but that is what he is saying is he was told as, for Barstool.
And Fox made their bones as this renegade network, taking risks all the time. How much could this actually help them to where, let's say they're at 5 or 6 Ohio State home games this year, which is usually the case, it seems like, on that show, to where then it becomes a game of where is he going to broadcast from, how is he going to stick it to Ohio State, and the intrigue of wanting to tune in to see what Portnoy does next to rib the Buckeyes. Could this become actually a good thing for Fox and Big Noon Kickoff?
100%, because look, Fox and Big Noon Kickoff, the biggest off-field rivalry is them versus ESPN and College GameDay. They're looking for a leg up specifically against College GameDay. This is, a years-long rivalry that we at FOS have been covering about every single little thing that both of these shows have done to try to, bring in viewers and poach viewers from the other show, right? Obviously, GameDay is the incumbent show, and Big Noon has been, doing a lot of sort of innovations, you could say. But, ESPN did bring in Pat McAfee a couple years ago to try to sort of bring in that extra younger flavor. So I definitely think it could be a good thing for Fox and for Big Noon if there's this added sort of layer of intrigue. It plays well for the fans. It's fun. I mean, it's fun, right? Like that's what it is. It's Ohio State, Michigan. It's fun. It's a rivalry. It's bringing that rivalry off the field and into the sort of the network ether, the corporate ether, which is always, super fun for us, right? So I can't see it as a bad thing for Fox beyond just them having a qualm with one of their marquee schools.
Yeah, hard to believe that they would just have an issue with Ohio State and bring Portnoy in knowing all that, right? Like there would have to be a plan in place prior to waiting until the eve of kickoff to act like you didn't know what was happening. That wouldn't look great.
Right. I mean, look, Portnoy said that he didn't want to say anything because he has this new relationship with Fox and he doesn't want to, he said he doesn't want to start any drama. I mean, look, starting drama has made Portnoy millions of dollars, so I'm not sure I believe that. But he sort of said, look, I wasn't going to say anything, but all the Barstool content I had planned is just not going to happen. And I don't see why Fox would have made that decision. I don't see why Fox would have made any unilateral decision about how to use Portnoy throughout the season and limit themselves from the ability to be innovative. I will say I have not heard back from other Big Ten schools about their understanding of this situation. But again, it just smells like Ohio State got caught and is trying to spin this.
It's tough to catch game day. Big Noon Kickoff's been doing a good job at pushing pushing towards that. How close has it actually been, and what can a move like Portnoy do to actually get them neck and neck?
I think from just like a raw viewership standpoint, like you said, it's going to be really hard to catch game day. Like last season, Big Noon wasn't even close. I think that now the question becomes, putting viewership aside, what or other sorts of metrics, what might matter more? Social media impressions, viral videos, TikTok, X, Instagram, like all of these other, pickups from other media outlets. How are they going to be able to get notoriety and monetize those moments that Portnoy is really known for, right? Like, he's not a linear TV personality. Mm-hmm. He's a social media native personality. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Fox is looking at this and saying, well, maybe we don't even need to catch game day from a core viewership standpoint because, the younger generations aren't really watching TV anyway. So maybe we should just focus on social media impressions and other ways to monetize. And I'm curious to see what metrics they push out that they say are going to be their success markers.
We know the impact of Nick Saban, let's say. Great reviews with his season with ESPN College Game Day. We don't yet know what the impact of no Lee Corso is on College Game Day. Just curious of your opinion. Is there a possibility there where there's some negative impact to ESPN and College Game Day now that this is going to be Coach Corso's final game or final show with ESPN?
I'm not sure because, for the past few seasons, unfortunately, Coach Corso has been absent from a lot of episodes, and even the ones that he was in, he's only there for a few minutes.
Right.
It's a rough schedule. It's rough on the body to be traveling every week the way the Game Day folks do, the way the Big Noon folks do. So he's kind of been semi-absent for the last couple years. So I would be shocked if there was a major dip because I do think that the loyal Game Day viewers have been getting used to the idea of a show without Lee Corso for the last couple of years now. It's almost like they've been phasing him out. And, I don't think they're intentionally phasing him out. I think it's about his health and what he's capable of doing. But I think that everybody's kind of gotten used to the idea that there's going to be a new generation of Game Day. And so I'd be shocked if the viewership really dropped significantly.
Hey, great convo, great insight. And can we have your parents' login information?
Yeah, please, just for everyone. Yeah, let us know.
I'll send it to you off the broadcast.
Okay.
Excellent.
We may need that on Saturday. Who knows? Thank you, Amanda.
So we're going to watch Texas-Ohio State.
You.
Thank you.
Yeah.